Stop what you're doing right now. The fact that you clicked on this video at this exact second of your life is not by chance. It's not the algorithm. It's God. And He has words written just for you. Words you've been rejecting for months, perhaps for years, without even realizing it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you 3 clear signs that the Father is trying to speak to you right now. The spiritual reason why you're not able to listen, and the exact path to receive that message before the window closes. If you are over 35, if you feel an emptiness that no one sees, a tiredness that sleep doesn't cure, a restlessness in your chest that you can't name, this video was set aside for you. Stay until the end. The last revelation will change the way you see everything that is happening in your life. It starts here. You've been waking up in the middle of the night, at strange hours, 3 in the morning, 4:30, and you can't go back to sleep. You lie there, staring at the ceiling with a thought that insists on returning. The name of a person, a decision you postponed, the strong feeling that you should be somewhere else in life. This isn't just anxiety. It's not the afternoon coffee. It's the Father knocking on the door of your soul. Science has already proven that this time between 3 and 5 in the morning is when the human brain has the least mental noise and the fewest defenses. That's why monks pray in the early morning hours. That's why prophets listen to God at this exact time. That's why you've been woken up. It's not a punishment, it's an invitation, and the more you ignore it, the more the invitation repeats itself. Second sign, you've been seeing the same numbers repeated. 11 and 11 on the clock, 22 and 22, 3 and 33, repeating license plates, dates in conversations, bills that close with the same amount. This isn't a coincidence. This is what the ancients called synchronicity, a direct message from the divine plane trying to get your attention, and most Americans were taught to disregard exactly that. They were taught to call it chance, to laugh at what doesn't fit on a spreadsheet, to pretend they don't feel what they feel. While you disregard it, the Father keeps sending the sign, stronger and clearer each time, because He doesn't give up on you. He never gives up. And if you've made it to this exact moment of the video, without skipping, without giving up, it's because deep in your soul you already knew. You received God's call a long time ago, and you've spent your life putting it off, thinking you could leave it for later. But what you call a work crisis, a lukewarm marriage, money that disappears without explanation, is just the visible layer of a much larger spiritual chessboard, where you are the main target of a dispute that has already begun. That's why the Father prepared the Holy Book for you, 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This Holy Book isn't just a reading. It is the exact map for those who want to stop rejecting the words God has been writing in their life, and finally learn to listen day after day to every message the Father has set aside for you. The link is pinned in the first comment on the channel. They've tried to take down this content more than once, because it challenges everything the system wants you to keep believing. Download it now and comment below. I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against everything that has been preventing you from hearing the Father's voice. Third sign, and this one hurts. You've been feeling a strange urge to cry for no reason. In the middle of a traffic jam on the avenue, listening to an old song on the radio, seeing a child in the supermarket line, passing by a closed church, an emotion comes out of nowhere, tightens your throat, and you swallow. You hold it in, you pretend it's nothing, but it's the Father touching the part of you that is still alive. It's your soul responding to the call. And every time you hold back that tear, you close another door. We were taught, especially here in the United States, that crying is weakness. Men don't cry, strong women don't cry, adults over 35 can't break down. And while we hold back tears, we also hold back the message that was trying to descend. God speaks through tears, He always has. And if you've been feeling this urge without understanding why, it's because He is speaking to you now. There's one more sign, and this is the quietest of all. It's that discomfort when you go to sleep. You lie down, turn off the light, and a restlessness comes over you that isn't fear, isn't worry. It's a kind of warning, as if something is out of place inside you. You try to explain it in 1,000 ways. It's work stress, it's the bill due next week, it's the child who's been distant, it's the pressure of health insurance. But deep down, you know it's not that. It's your soul saying you are not on the right path. You are going in the wrong direction. And the Father, in His infinite patience, insists on warning you before it's too late. And it's exactly here that most people fall. You already understand that God is speaking. You already feel the call, but you get stuck not knowing the next step. This is not by chance. This is part of the game. There is a force that acts precisely at this moment, at the exact instant your soul awakens, to push you back into spiritual slumber. It uses tiredness, it uses doubt, it uses that thought that whispers, "This is nonsense, leave it for tomorrow." But tomorrow always turns into never. And with each passing day, the Father's message becomes more distant. The sign becomes weaker, and you start to get used to a life smaller than the one He reserved for you. It was by looking at this exact trap that the Father prepared the Holy Book for you, 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. This Holy Book isn't just a reading. It is a 21-day journey with daily, short, practical steps, each designed to reopen the channels that have been closed within you. Each day works on a specific block that prevents you from hearing the Father's voice clearly. The link is pinned in the first comment on the channel. They've tried to take down this content more than once, because when a child of God regains their spiritual hearing, the system loses control over them. Download it now, comment below "I am chosen," and I will download the digital book, and hit the bell icon for the channel so you don't miss the next revelation. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against the invisible force that has been trying to silence God's voice within you. Now that you've recognized the signs, we need to talk about the cause. Why are you, a good, honest, hard-working person who raised your children with love, who tries to do what's right, having such difficulty hearing the Father? The answer is hard, but it frees. You were programmed since childhood not to listen. Yes, you read that right, programmed. You grew up hearing that this is for people with nothing better to do. You grew up seeing the adults around you treat faith as a Sunday obligation, as a social gathering, as a tradition without substance. You learned to pray without feeling, to go to church without listening, to ask without expecting an answer. And when the Father starts to answer now in adulthood, you don't recognize His voice. You think it's imagination. You think it's madness. You think it's your emotions being messed up. And you silence it. You silence it again. There's a second, deeper cause that almost no one dares to name. It's guilt. Guilt for things you've done that no one knows about. Guilt for that marriage that ended because you made a mistake. Guilt for the child who grew up without you nearby. Guilt for the mother who died before you could make peace. Guilt for the money that disappeared because of your choices. Guilt for the betrayal that no one discovered. This guilt creates an invisible wall between you and the Father. Not because He condemns you, He never condemns, but because you believe you don't deserve to be heard. And when He speaks, you turn your face away, because deep down you think the message can't be for someone like you. It's a mistake. It's the biggest mistake of your life. The Father speaks first precisely to those who feel unworthy. It has always been this way, from the beginning to the end of the Scriptures. And here's why I need you to pay very close attention before continuing to watch. There's a crucial difference between knowing that God is speaking and having the right tools to listen clearly. Many people listen halfway, catch only a piece of the message, interpret it wrong, and end up making decisions that further delay life. This happens because spiritual listening, like anything important, needs method. It needs discipline. It needs daily repetition. And it's exactly this method that the Father put inside the Holy Book. He prepared for you 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This Holy Book isn't just a reading. It contains 21 specific prayers, one for each day, each designed to unlock a layer of guilt, fear, and spiritual deafness that are separating you from the Father. Along with each prayer comes a short practice, less than 10 minutes, that reprograms your mind to listen. It's simple. It's direct. Here's what the ancients kept under lock and key, and what now by divine mercy is being delivered into the hands of the people. The link is pinned in the first comment on the channel. They've tried to take down this content more than once, and you'll understand why in the next few minutes. Download it now, comment below "I am chosen," and I will download the digital book, like the video so it reaches more brothers and sisters who need it, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next revelation. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against everything that has been making you feel unworthy of the Father's voice. We've reached the part no one wants to tell you. The deepest cause of your spiritual deafness, the one most self-help books don't touch because it involves an uncomfortable truth. You are afraid to listen to God. Yes, fear. It's not a lack of faith. It's fear. Because deep down you know that if the Father truly speaks and you truly listen, your life will have to change. You'll have to leave that relationship that died years ago and you pretend is still breathing. You'll have to resign from that job that drains your energy every day. You'll have to forgive that person who hurt you and whom you swore never to forgive. You'll have to recognize that the comfortable life you built is not the life He designed for you. And so you prefer to remain deaf. You prefer the security of the known prison to the freedom of the new path. That's why many people over 35 enter a kind of spiritual paralysis. We've lived long enough to be afraid, but not long enough to surrender. And we stay there in the middle, listening halfway, obeying halfway, existing halfway. Let me tell you a quick true story, so you understand better. I met a woman, let's call her Sandra, 47 years old, 2 grown children, married for 22 years to a good man, but with whom she hadn't truly conversed in a long time. Sandra started waking up every night, 3:27 in the morning, always at the same time. She thought it was menopause. She went to the doctor, took medicine, nothing. She thought it was work stress, took a vacation, still kept waking up. Then she started seeing the number 27 everywhere. License plates, bus numbers, bank pins, the page of a book that opened at the wrong spot. Sandra laughed at first. Then she got irritated. Then she got scared. One day, tired, she lay down in the early morning and said aloud, alone in her room, "Speak to me, Father, I will listen." That night she dreamed of her mother, who had died 10 years earlier, saying just one sentence, "Take care of your life, daughter. This isn't the one you chose." Sandra woke up crying. It took her 6 months to process it. A year later, she had separated with dignity, had gone back to school, had opened a small homemade sweets business that now supports her with plenty to spare. Sandra told me a phrase I'll never forget. The Father had been speaking to me for 3 years. I was just covering my ears with both hands. And that's where most people go wrong. They expect a grand sign, a voice from heaven, a lightning bolt striking nearby. That's not how He speaks. He speaks through small repetitions, through the persistent feeling, through the person who appears out of nowhere, through the verse that jumps off the page, through the discomfort that doesn't pass, through the old song that plays on the radio at the exact moment. He is subtle, He is patient, He is constant, and precisely because He is subtle, we miss Him, because we've been trained to recognize only noise, and He speaks in silence. Now I'm going to give you the practical solution, and pay attention because this is worth its weight in gold. There are 3 steps you can start doing today, even before finishing this video, to begin to regain your spiritual hearing. Make a mental note, or if you can, write it down on a piece of paper nearby. The first step is programmed silence. Every day, at the same time, you will set aside 5 minutes. Just 5. No cell phone, no television, no music, no noise. You will sit, breathe, and be still. At first you'll think you're wasting time. A crazy urge will come to check messages, to get up, to do anything. Endure it. Stay there. In the first few days, the noise in your head will scream. On the 7th day, the noise begins to diminish. On the 14th day, the Father begins to fit into the silence. On the 21st, you are no longer the same person. The second step is the sign journal. Buy a simple notebook, the kind you find at a dollar store. It costs $3. Every day before going to sleep, write down 3 things that happened and caught your attention. A number that repeated, a person who appeared out of nowhere, a conversation that touched you, a thought that wouldn't leave your head. Don't judge, don't filter, just write it down. In 30 days you will reread everything and your jaw will drop at the patterns you will find. I've seen people discover new careers, people reconnect with old loves, people heal from chronic illnesses, all hidden in patterns that no one sees because no one writes them down. The third step is the prayer of surrender. It's not a prayer of asking, it's not a prayer of thanksgiving. It's a different prayer. You will look up and say, sincerely, without fancy words, "Father, I don't know what to do anymore. Here, take my life. Speak to me in a way I can understand." and I promise to listen without judging, without running, without fleeing. This prayer shifts the atmosphere. It changes the vibration around you. It changes what is open and what is closed. And it is from this point that the channels truly begin to reopen. Here's the final revelation, the one I promised at the beginning. Prepare your heart. The reason you arrived at this video today, now, is because you are in a moment of deep spiritual transition. And this type of transition only happens every 7 years within the cycles of the Spirit. If you let this window pass without listening, without acting, the next one will only come in 7 years. 7 years living with the feeling that something was missing. 7 years rejecting the words that were written just for you. 7 years in a life that isn't yours. And here in the United States, where life rushes by too fast, where routine swallows you whole, where traffic consumes, where bills scream louder than the soul, this type of decision is what separates those who will live the second half of life with purpose from those who will live dragging an unnamed weariness until the end. I want to ask you a question now. Look deep inside and answer honestly. How many times in recent months have you felt you should have done something different? How many times did you have a strong intuition and ignore it? How many times did you dream of someone, a place, a situation, and woke up thinking, what a strange dream, and went about your day as if nothing happened? Each of those times was a word from the Father, a word written just for you, and you put it in a drawer. You left it there. You pretended it wasn't for you, but it was. It always was. Comment below now before continuing. Write for me to see. What was the last sign you received and ignored? Write the number, the dream, the intuition, whatever came to you. When you put it into words, you are already beginning to align yourself again, and take the opportunity to like this video. Every like helps it reach more brothers and sisters who are stuck in the same place. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and hit the bell icon, because the next content that comes out will unlock the financial part of your life, and you absolutely cannot miss it. And now the decisive moment of this video. You understand that the Father has been speaking to you for a long time. You've identified the signs. You understand why you were deaf. You already know what to do to reopen the channels. But there's one detail I need to tell you, and it changes everything. Doing the 3 steps alone in the dark, without direction, without the right sequence, is like trying to learn to swim in the middle of the ocean. You might manage to stay afloat for a few days, but the current will keep taking you back to where you were. That's why the Father prepared the Holy Book for you, 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. This Holy Book isn't just a reading. It is the firm hand that holds yours during the 21 most important days of your spiritual life. Each day within the book works precisely on the 3 causes we discussed: the childhood programming that taught you not to listen, the guilt that built the wall between you and the Father, and the deep fear that if you truly listen, your life will have to change. Each prayer comes at the right time. Each practice comes in the right format. Each revelation comes when you are ready to receive. You don't need to know where to start. The book starts for you. You don't need to know how much time to dedicate. The book has already been designed in short cycles to fit into the busy routine of someone who works, takes care of a home, cares for children, cares for an elderly parent. You just need to accept the invitation. The link is pinned in the first comment on the channel. They've tried to take down this content more than once, because when a child of God regains their spiritual hearing and begins to walk in alignment, the system loses an important piece in his game. Download it now from the first comment. Comment below, I am chosen, and I will download the digital book, and do this before closing the video, because every minute that passes is a word the Father wanted to tell you and you didn't hear. And close with me now. If you've made it this far, you are not by chance. You are chosen. You are called. You are the answer to a prayer that someone, somewhere, prayed for you even before you were born. The Father doesn't waste a child. He doesn't lose anyone along the way. And if He brought you to this video, it's because the time is now. Not next week, not after vacation, not when life gives you a break, because it never does. It's now. Download the Holy Book from the first comment on the channel. Start the first of the 21 days today. And come back here in 3 weeks to tell us in the comments what has changed. I read all comments, and I will be waiting for yours. May the Father bless you, protect you, find you in the midst of the noise, and lead you along the path that has always been yours. Do not reject these words anymore. They were written just for you.